You're still here! I know it!
What if we got the electricity back up?
We have to find him! I know you're there!
I don't even know why we're out here. Nobody's trying to steal this shit.
Where are they? Come out and face me!
This shit is so boring. I wish we had some cards or something. I signed up to fight, not babysit supplies. I hate guard duty.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Plays Live. I'm James Duggan. We're playing the Division 2's private beta. I'll be monitoring a lot of chats here. We got a YouTube main on IGN. We have Fireteam chat. We have Mixer. We have Twitch. What's up, everybody? Thanks for sticking with me. Been a while since I used this setup. Let's get into it. How you folks doing? Have you played yet? Or have you just been playing Apex Legends like me? I played some this morning. And I also went to a preview event in Malmo, Sweden. That was a couple weeks ago. So I have some advanced knowledge about some of the systems in the game. How's it going? Elliot, get to the chopper. I've been playing all day. Michael Ventura, maybe you can log in and carry me. I'm a little bit undergeared, but we're going to get going here. Already cleared out downtown east. We're going to continue with some main missions. Can you guys hear me? Check, 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 check. Let me know if you folks can hear me.
Friendly control point nearby.
So I'm going to be talking about a lot of things in this stream, if you guys can indeed hear me. And we're going to be talking about time to kill. We're going to be talking about some of the sponginess. Some of that kind of stuff. How's it going, y'all? Excellent. All right. AK, one of my favorites. The, no, not like this. One of my favorite things, I guess, so far is the gun handling is slightly different on mouse and keyboard than it was in 1, or at least the beginning of 1. They did a lot of changes with 1.8 in the original Division. And it feels more impactful at the low end, but that, I don't think, was ever really the problem of the Division 1. I think it was more the high end. Can I have a shout-out? Yes, you can. Crispy Camel, how's it going, man? Do you pre-order to get into this? Yes, you can pre-order. I believe, I'm not sure if it's the Ultimate Edition or what you need to do to get into the private beta, but there is kind of a buy-in option. What's up, Twitch? Let's check it out. And Mixer, can't neglect the Mixer chat. But back to YouTube. I'm not Destin. That's right. Does it say I'm Destin in the description? I'm Destin's younger son. He's actually shooting Fireteam chat right now. And I thought this was kind of heresy to stream the Division 2 to Fireteam chat, but he suggested it, so here we are. The graphics look amazing. I am playing on PC. I believe I'm running a 2080 or it's a 1080 Ti in this computer. I haven't used this setup in a while, but it definitely looks better on PC than it does on console, and I'll even go as far to say that the console versions that I've played look a little bit flat, especially in some of the outdoor environmental areas. There's this kind of grime to Washington, and it just doesn't really translate to console that well, in my opinion. But the first thing I want to know, guys, have you been playing Apex Legends? Because that's all I've been able to play recently. I have all these really big reviews to do, I have all this work to do, and I cannot stop playing that game. I'm having a great time. Sidearm. So you'll notice, like, everything looks a little bit punchier. I don't think the difference is crazy. I think you kind of had to play a lot of the Division 1 to be able to notice some of the differences. But I also think that there's this idea that the Division 2 looks very similar to the Division 1. And admittedly, they kind of used 1.8 as a building block to get there. So there's this cool armor animation now. Kind of slide a plate out, bring a plate in. What does Fireteam chat think about this? I want to know, Fireteam chat. I'm looking at your chat right now. Michael Ventura said the only bugs I've had so far are a memory leak once or twice. Apex Legends is fire. Yeah, there are a couple bugs. There's like some weird stuttering that happens in Apex Legends, but aside from that, I am just loving it. I've also noticed a couple friends getting some like weird network hitching problems. But wow, I every time a new Battle Royale comes out, I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I'm not going to play any more Battle Royales. And then I am surprised, because they're generally really good. Apex Legends certainly no exception to that. We have our review in progress up, done by a freelancer. But we all have our own opinions on the game, obviously. Oh, are you a sniper? Oopsies. So, Destiny, folks, are you going to play The Division 2? That's my question. The chat cannot stop talking about Apex Legends. I'm right there with you. Let's have a Battle Royale mode for The Division. They kind of did. It was called Survival. It was somewhat Daisy-esque, but it was kind of one or two people can escape. PvP, PvE. Definitely Battle Royale-esque. And it was kind of fun.
So? Fucking kill them!
Look for a way down to the garage and see if you can pick up Espinosa's trail. He tends to leave a mess.
Ooh, yeah. The sniper feels really good. So, like, the bolt-action one-shot kills to the head are great on these red bars. If you play the Division 1, you notice that when you get to the higher difficulties, everything's just a purple bar. And when I was talking to some of the higher-ups at Massive, they were saying one of the biggest things they wanted to do was make sure the red bar spam, like these easy-to-kill guys, never stops regardless of how high you go. That being said, when you get to some of the later missions, even the red bars are spongy. The game plays really well at this time to kill. And I think my core problem with the Division is probably everybody else's core problem with the Division, which is you're in this gear progression game just to get yourself to a place where the shooting doesn't feel bad. Which is kind of weird. Oh man, what the heck happened there? Flashbang. I have some thoughts on Anthem as well. I'm playing a lot of that in the beta, or at least as much as I could tolerate. I don't know. I don't know if other people were like this too. I used to really be addicted to World of Warcraft and stuff like that and really love the grind, and now I'm in a place where I'm looking for gameplay and interesting decisions and kind of expressions of skill. And so Apex Legends is just doing it for me. There's even a fun progression to that. Like, it's a good time. We'll see what the Dark Zone is like. I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. Crispy Camel, no problem, man. If anybody else wants a shout out, let me know. Justin Martinez has been playing it. We have a comment here from Indian by Birth. Division 2 is new yet familiar. Destiny 2 killed that soul and heart at launch. I played private beta 12 hours, and it's fun. Yeah, I think we can do away with any expectations of the Division 2 being a Destiny killer, or any other game for that matter. I think this is a difficult bar, guys. Shared world shooters are not easy to make. Balancing things like gun feel with progression, with really kind of intricate, bespoke mechanics towards the end game intricacy, accessibility. There's so much. And Destiny 2 has a lot of problems, don't get me wrong, but I think it nails a lot of what it has to nail. I think they just really need to get consistent with the cadence. And the shooting does feel better, though, to me. Maybe it's maybe it's all just in my head, but I don't think it is. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. There's a game I know nothing about. So far, my favorite parts of the Division 2, including what I played in Malmo, which was some endgame stuff. The endgame stuff was actually what felt worse to me. This kind of stuff feels good. I think when I think about higher difficulty, it's not just stats. It shouldn't just be a wall of stats. It should really, really be interesting mechanics. An example of that would be like the Ash Titan in Anthem versus all the other enemies in Anthem, which, like the Tyrant, Swarm Tyrant, I don't think is mechanically that intricate or interesting. And in the Division 2, there are definitely some good telegraphs to be dodged in terms of grenades, but like, that's kind of it. Need a little bit more than that. So I'm excited to see what happens with the raids.
Active shade beacon nearby.
They did nail the music in this. I will totally concede that. So here's a question for the folks in chat. What game are you looking forward to more? And what game are you feeling better about? And I especially want to hear your opinion if you played both this private beta as well as the demo between the Division 2 and Anthem. If I had to choose right now, based on what I've played, what I'm feeling better about in terms of longevity, in terms of my friends getting on and all of us playing together, and kind of the staples of the shared world shooter genre, I would choose The Division. I think Anthem,
There should be a terminal that'll let you
the
reactivate
initial
node.
gameplay and flight is so cool, but I don't think things improve from there, from what I've played. And also, I mean, The Division 1 had there were a lot of lessons. And you can already feel some of them. The biggest of them being, when you go to this open world, all the stuff that pops up. Sigmund B says, I'd rather choose The Devil I Know, that being The Division 2, but my cousins and I plan on getting Anthem as well. A lot of people I know are pre-ordering Anthem, and I think it's a risky pre-order. I don't think we know enough about the post-launch to really be like, yeah, this is going to be a game that I'm going to get all my enjoyment out of, but if you just enjoy the base game, cool. But I wouldn't expect a whole lot more in terms of what we've seen in terms of enemy variety, fights. And I think the same can be said for The Division to some extent, but I think the loot game is presenting itself to be pretty interesting in Division. Ooh. Ooh, these firefights are alright. I'm not having a bad time. I mean, it's no Apex Legends, but... Ooh, here's a comment I really want to read. This is on IGN main, and I agree with it. Oh, God. But we'll not die first, and then we'll read comments. Like, look at that animation. That kind of impact wasn't there in the build that I played in Malmo. There was, like, this weird momentary delay until that happened. But that just feels so immediate. I don't know if it's because, like, this is a private instance and I'm the host or what, but that feels good to me in terms of shooting. In a way that the Division 1 I don't think ever did. So let me ask you guys in the chat, when you think of good gunplay, what are some of the attributes that you think of? For me, it's immediate impact, feeling it in terms of animation and control, and then seeing the impact of what I've done in terms of what I'm shooting. I want it to die quick, and I want it to be somewhat spectacular. Oh boy. No, no, no. All right. So here is this great comment that I wanted to read. Jimmy X Rose says, I spent 10 minutes in menus in Anthem. The UI is so bad. That is, if I had to pick apart one piece of it, it would probably be the menu system and the fact that you can't pick up loot. There's no immediate gratification. Like, when I find a gun in The Division, I can slap it on, or Destiny. And that's a really cool feeling. But with Anthem, you don't even really know what you're picking up. You just know the category of the thing you're picking up, and then you have to go back to base and put it on. It definitely doesn't feel intuitive, or... I don't know. It kind of breaks my immersion, or at least my loop. The base progression loop. Well, that was a terrible shot. Oh man, this gun just feels good. That was weird. I think my biggest problem with the Division 2 so far, from what I've played, is the endgame sponginess is not fixed. It's totally still there. What's your favorite Apex gun? Man, that changes on a day-to-day basis, but I think the Peacekeeper is a good staple. It's just always good. I really, really like the G7 Scout. I really like the... You know what I've been messing with a lot recently is the R301. I kind of like wrote SMGs and ARs off because of the early game experience and how you just lay into people and they just don't die because the mag is just not deep enough. But the longbow as well is another personal favorite. A bit. The control scheme in The Division 2 is as unintuitive as it was on PC in The Division 1, because it's the same. But I'm just used to it at this point. Like, space to go into cover feels like it should be something that should be vault over cover. Oh, I gotta get out of here. These guys are definitely giving me a run for my money. Whoa! Man, I am gonna die again. And this is gonna be super embarrassing. PvE so hard! There we go. Thank goodness. I will say the AI is a lot more challenging. Just in terms of this kind of stuff. Ooh. Especially solo, it feels pretty fun. Hope the Dark Zone is way bigger this time, and that comment comes from Hassan Udin 2000. I 100% agree. I think the Dark Zone was the most interesting part of the Division 1, but it just statistically did not feel great. Like, so I'm really happy that they normalized 2 of the 3 Dark Zones. You got a large C car, buddy? Cool. So that time to kill feels fantastic, but the problem is it just doesn't feel like that when you get up to 30. And when you have 4 people in your party.
Hey guys, I'm still willing to deal, but you better decide fast.
Is there hand-to-hand combat in this game? You can melee.
She's goading you to try
Bam.
to make you reckless.
But it's
Just
not
stay
great.
Focused.
Can you go first person? Not to my knowledge. Not like Wildlands in that sense. Ooh! Whoop. This level of moving around and kind of threats rushing at you and high lethality I really like in the early game, and then I think this all but evaporates once you start getting into the higher content, and I feel like that's going to be my biggest problem with this game, is that the similar to kind of Diablo 3, the quality of the gameplay degrades as you get higher level, for different reasons than Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 is much better than it used to be, I'll say that. Ooh. Oh boy. Outer Worlds is canceled. A lot of talk about Outer Worlds. Is there some news story I missed? Is it really it's not actually canceled. That's hyperbole, surely, yeah. Okay, so here's our first spongy enemy, but even this guy is nothing compared to some of the stuff you'll see in the end game. Who? It's not that effective. So he's got armor that breaks off, which looks really cool, and then you start punching through some of the HP, and that's nice. But again, that time to kill is fine, especially when it's a big enemy like that. It just doesn't stay like that in my experience, and I think if they can fix that, I think they'll be in a much better spot. And really, the other big problem that I see in the Division 2 that was in the Division 1 is enemy variety. It's just dudes. It's dudes with guns. And they're like these Boston Dynamic robots, but they just behave like dudes with guns, as far as I can tell. So, ooh, hey, who's this? Oh, okay, well, you look like a meanie, and I can't shoot you yet.
He didn't have to die here.
I'm leaving this to you. Finish them off.
Sniping does feel good. Sniping feels a lot worse in the late game missions I played. But then I guess everything does too, so. Ooh. Oh, hi. Buff Daddy asks, will IGN rate this game 10 out of 10? I am on the review, and I can tell you straight away that no. Without giving too much away. I mean, obviously I still have a lot to play, but I don't think there's any reality in which a game like this can attain that. Not to say that shared world shooters can't. They're honestly one of my favorite genres. I just think it's a tall order. Oh, I feel like that should have been a hit, but, you know, whatever. There we go. Switch characters to Shaggy. Yeah, this would be over if I was Shaggy. Alright. What does the sponginess mean? Asks Krispy Kreme. So sponginess refers to high time to kill. Essentially, like, I have 31 rounds in this gun. If I shoot all 31 into a guy's upper chest and head, and they're still alive, or not even really hurt, that's called sponginess. Have you played Apex Legends? Oh, you bet I played Apex Legends. That's all I've played for the past few days. I am 100% in love. If we talk about a game that I feel like is a 10 out of 10, that's close. Ooh. Sniper battle. Oh, that's weird. We're going to see if we can group up after this. How many games have I played? Dude, I don't know. Thousands? Hundreds? Certainly hundreds. That's an interesting question. I don't think I've ever really thought about it. Chat, what are the games that you've put the most hours into in your entire life? For me, I think it's WoW, League of Legends, maybe PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but that's probably lower. I put a lot of time into Blackout, but it just hasn't been long enough. Dark Zone, PvE is boring. PvE is boring. I've yet to unlock the Dark Zone, but when I do, you can be rest assured we will go and have a great time. How is the Division 2 gunplay? Asked Stefan Wright. I think the Division 2's gunplay in this capacity at lower level, and I'm not on fire. Jeez, man. Okay, yeah, I'd like control of my character back. Thanks. Is better. It's all right. It's, I think when enemies die in a reasonable time, it feels good. Like, the animations are there, the death animations, the impact you kind of feel more so than the Division 1. Maybe not the Division 1.8. But once you get up to level 30, from what I've played, it feels like the Division 1, which I think is a really big problem.
Look, there was nothing you could have done for Espinosa. That fucking hyena was toying with us.
What do you think about Ace Combat 7? I'm not a flight guy. All right, Twitch, I've been neglecting you. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds here.
You did good. I'll see you around.
This game looks like Ghost Recon, says Team Big Boss. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're on the same engine, but... Mixer! What's up, guys? Oh, man, lots of talking. Hola! What's up? Let's check in with IGN YouTube. How you guys doing? More bullet sponges. We are capped at 7 in this beta. Are we? I hope not.
Dark Zone East was evacuated.
Hey, look at this, guys. Dark Zone.
Scattered DC-62 in a large radius around Capital Station.
Right.
They eventually walled the entire area to try
NPCs love to talk in this game, so I'm going to go into the settings, which I lost the signal on Restream by doing that. Might have to fix that. Dialogue volume, I'll bring it down to 0. Back. Everybody can see the game, yeah? DZ rank capped to 10. Hey, loving the video, thank you. Miguel wants me to go Tilted Towers. All right, man. I'm on it. Ooh, bolt action feels good. But again, only on these little enemies. Once you start getting up to the big stuff, it's like, what is happening to my bullets? We'll see, though. I think when games get, especially shooters, get stingy with the damage, it can be bad news. All right, so real quick. Oh, there's a guy in front of me. Let's finish the fight like Master Chief here, and then we will check out our inventory, and then we'll go to the dark zone, yeah? Sound like a plan? All right, I think I can just check my inventory out now. Weapons. What do we got? So a lot of level 5s. I'm actually a big fan of the AK, so we're going to take that. This is only level... Yeah, that's level 5. Okay. That's weird. That is a thing. What do you want? And then this kind of stuff. And this kind of stuff, to me, still feels kind of superfluous and meaningless unless I'm getting some kind of, like, bonus, you know what I mean? Like some kind of actual gameplay-altering thing. A lot of this just feels tedious. And I know this is no different than World of Warcraft's, like, armor system at the beginning of the game, but I just don't think the aesthetics have the ability to look as cool in this game as something like Destiny or WoW or even Anthem. Is he playing mouse and keyboard? Yep. I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, Sean. The control scheme for the Division 2 on keyboard and mouse is weird, but once you get used to it, it's all right. The shooting feels good on mouse and keyboard. I'm not going to say it feels great, but it feels all right. It feels better the faster you kill stuff, essentially, but that's really difficult to balance an RPG around, so it's kind of case by case. Oh! Guess I'm going to climb over the car. All right. That's fine. Skill tree. Sure, let's check out the skill tree. Comes from shots fired. Skills. You know what? Let's go back to the White House real quick. Fast travel. Jesse Meza, yeah, that's how private to public works. Not everybody's going to watch the stream if it's not something new. IGN is first and foremost a functional platform to check out new stuff. And I think people have seen a lot of the Division at this point. We've been putting up a lot of IGN first coverage. Some of you, did you watch the Super Bowl? Asked Mauricio. Yeah, I watched it until I got bored and then I played Apex. What are your guys' thoughts on the Adam Levine performance? All right, so let's check out some perks. If it will let me check out some perks, please. Good God, what is happening? What? QE? Okay, do I need to, like... What the heck is going on? I can't even go back? What do you want? Okay, I need to unlock this, apparently. That's great. One of my least favorite things that Ubisoft seems to love to do is force you through tutorials and not just let you go. Like, just... I get it, dude. Almost swore. Prevented myself from swearing. What do I want to do here? I was looking at... Oh, skills, right. Unlock a second skill. What should I get, guys? I think I should get... I want the pulse, but I can't, so I'm going to get the drone. And I can't get it because I was forced to unlock that stupid bomb that I'm not going to use, so thanks. Great. All right. Well, this was meaningless. Is there like a flat 50% bonus? No. Skill slot. Oh, maybe I just need to do this. There we go. Nope, still don't have enough. Right? Unavailable in beta. What? How is it unavailable? Oh, okay. Okay. Fixer, yeah, we'll take the fixer. We already have an offensive option. And then we'll take some more armor kits. Jack Shepard, the Division 1 looks and plays much better. Don't agree. mainly because they used Division 1.8 as a starting block for this, and I think it plays a lot like the Division 1.8 with some tweaks. So I think this is as close to the first game as you can get. Duggan, what are your social media handles? Duggan, THUGGN, DUGGN. If you enjoy Apex Legends content, then you can follow me. All right, so we're going to the Dark Zone. To do that, we're going to fast travel here. Greetings from Bolivia. What's up? How's it going, Mauricio? Soul Prodigy says, oh, look, Negative Nancy. I like gun attachments are now perks instead of items taking up inventory space. I agree with that. What's up, Duggan? What's up, Trainwreck Band? Fireteam Chad. You guys still playing Destiny? Is that still something people do? It seems like a roller coaster of emotion when I hear CJ and Destin talk about it. Seems like one week it's great, the next week they're looking for other things to play. Shout out, please. Samir, how's it going? Yeah, Mike, I figured that out. All right. Take me there. GPS, take me. There we are. What's up, bro? Anthem hype. Punk face killer. I'm reviewing that as well, so we'll see. What are you guys' thoughts on the Anthem open demo? I'll give you three positives, 3 negatives. Positive. That's not a good sign. I'm just messing around. I can think of a positive. Positive, the Tyrant Mine was much better than it was in previous builds of the game. The end fight I thought was more mechanically interesting, although I feel like they could do a little bit more. I still think the Ash Titan is the best fight. Positive, I experimented with a lot of abilities and found some stuff that I didn't think would be good that was good. Final positive, I feel like the flight still feels great. On mouse and keyboard it feels okay, but that's what I'll be playing on. But it's totally functional, and I just like the Storm, the Colossus. They all feel pretty good. Negative, balance. That balance is going to be a huge thing for them at launch. I think all of the abilities were kind of... There were abilities that were phenomenally good, OP, and then there were abilities that were borderline unusable. And that doesn't feel good when you have to exit back to the tower or Fort Tarsus or whatever it's called to swap. So they're going to have an uphill battle to fight there. I almost feel like it plays more like a weird cooperative Mass Effect PvE game than it does kind of a shared world shooter. It just doesn't have that visceral pick up and play Diablo 3 or World of Warcraft or Destiny or whatever loot immediacy where you find something cool and then you equip it. Negative. I don't think 3 strongholds is going to be enough in that game to satiate people. And then finally negative, I don't think things get more fun the more damage enemies deal and the more damage they can take. And that seems to be the end game progression of that game, so we'll see. All right, let's read some stuff from YouTube chat. Elliot, Anthem fixed, awesome. Are you on one of the podcasts? Asked Matthew Day. I'm on Fireteam chat from time to time, but we're kind of dialing back podcasts here in favor of other content. Though I'd like to be. If there was a game that necessitated it, I think it would be Apex is kind of one that I'm thinking about right now. Anthem will be fun for 1 month, then poop. I don't disagree. We'll see. It could be great, but I don't think that it's going to hold up past a certain amount of time based on what I've played so far. I hope I'm wrong. Time will tell. Oh, this is not a weapon I want to use. Whoop. Gonna keep reading. Servers were poop. Gameplay was fun. Punkface killer. A lot of the use of the word poop, but I agree. The servers were rough. I was getting disconnected a lot. They really needed to work on that. And again, I just don't like going back to Fort Tarsus to do literally anything. Like, that sucks. I know we'll have that hub, and hopefully that will be less loading time and more functional than Fort Tarsus. But I think Fort Tarsus is like, ooh boy, I'm going to die here. I think Fort Tarsus is a big trade-off for single-player narrative, and I just don't, that's not what I'm looking for, personally, in my shared world shooters or my cooperative mechanics-based action games. I gotta spawn all the way over here. All right, we're just gonna beeline to the dark zone. Who else is waiting for Minecraft 2? Asked Miguel. What's better, Division 2 or Anthem? I need to play both more to render an opinion on that, but I think each are good for different things. Long-term playability for Division 2. I think long-term playability for Division 2 actually looks pretty good. I think that's one of the things that I will say, if you can get past the sponginess of its combat at the end game, then I think you're going to be in a position where there's probably going to be a pretty good content release schedule, and it's conventional, like, we made more content, experience it. They're going to be doing raids, which I think are going to be great. So long-term playability for Division 2 Mason D, I think, looks pretty good. D2 is dead. Division 2 and Anthem are fighting to be the new reigning champ. D2, Destiny 2. I think Destiny's... I don't really know how this Activision unmerger is going to work or what it's going to do to the game, but I'm hopeful about Destiny's future. If they can make a Destiny that is the last Destiny and there's not a Destiny 4, I'll be happy. Are you enjoying this more than Anthem? Shots Fired asks. I guess I would say... yes, but it's a slower burn. It's not like, immediately it doesn't feel the way Anthem feels. Anthem is interesting in terms of the initial gameplay. You're like, wow, this is something new, flying around, and so there's that. And then the Division 2 is kind of a slower burn with a loop, but once you start getting into kind of some of the open world progression, I think it's pretty fun. Zachary Jennings, do you think it will be hard to join players for Division 1 on Division 2? No, I think you can jump right into this game and figure it out. Much more excited. Where did that go? Sorry, my scroll is messing up. Anthem might be a rocky start. I agree. I think they have some lessons to learn. And forgive me for the boring running gameplay, but I'm just trying to get to the dark zone. Never played the first Division. Does Division 2 have a story that the player follows? It does. If it's anything like the Division 1, it's light, it's kind of uninteresting, and you're just waiting for zombies to show up the whole time. I really, my entire experience of Division 1, I was like, all right, are there going to be zombies? No? Okay, all right, well then. It's a realistic Tom Clancy game. It's set in a post-apocalyptic, or post-pandemic world. It's not apocalyptic. Humanity's still totally a thing. It's just kind of in shambles right now. And you figured out what caused the virus, and now you're just kind of trying to rebuild society. And I think that's cool for a shorter, more focused story. I think for something like an MMO, I don't know. I really think that particular narrative pathway limits so much. It limits enemy variety. It limits what you can do with your loot. It limits the kind of bosses you can have, the kind of encounters, the kind of mechanics you can have. It clashes with things like time to kill, which is very important in a shooter, or it clashes with time to kill in terms of RPG mechanics, I suppose. Because in a Tom Clancy game, you want that immediacy, right? You want that gun feel. You want to feel like you're killing things like I'm killing things now. The problem is, the higher you go in this game, the less it feels like that. All right, let's move on. Thank you. If I don't answer your question, just ask it again, folks. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to scroll through as much as I can here. This looks like another version of Gears of War. How does it compare? It's a cover-based shooter, and that's, I think, where the comparison ends. I think Gears of War was really all about mechanical, good feeling combat. The Division 2 sacrifices some of that to have deeper RPG mechanics, deeper progression, more longevity, stuff like that. Oh, hi, guys. That was a whiff. 1v1 Rainbow Six Siege. All right. What operator are you choosing, Miguel? Because I want to counter. What is the best? Probably Ash is like the best 1v1, right? I haven't played enough Rainbow Six Siege. I will 100% 1v1 you in Apex Legends, though. You pick the place, you pick the operator, or the legend. Haha, stuck on a pole, yes. Well, that's not the gun I want. This guy is trucking me. Moving on. Bugs. Does Anthem have PvP? Asks Hopeless Rez. No. Anthem has no PvP. And that, I think, is going to be one of the problems. Because say what you will about Destiny 2's PvP, I'll say that I never found it that interesting compared to some other great PvP games that are out right now. But the fact that it's there, I think, gives you something to do in the interim when you've completed the handmade linear content, like raids and repeatable quests and stuff. I think playing against another player rarely gets boring in the way that fighting the same PvE encounter does. Spidey Sense 3, do you play Battlefield 5? I played Battlefield 5. I actually reviewed Battlefield 5 for IGN. I was not the biggest fan. I thought the gunplay was better than Battlefield 1. I thought they did some great stuff with gunplay and team play, and then I felt like elsewhere it suffered, and it was just very buggy, which is difficult to deal with. All right, I mean, it says I should continue on this road, but... Open! What am I doing here? Help me, chat! I can't get over this, and this doesn't... I guess I just need to go over there. I guess I went the wrong way. Just make sure I can't go through this or something. Okay. Having a Fran Mirabella moment here. Sean says, you have to buy the year pass to actually get all the Division 2 content. That isn't true. For the first year, all the content in the Division 2 is free. They've committed to 1 year of free content. After that, not sure. But we'll I guess they'll cross that bridge when they come to it. But I do think that if you buy stuff, you get incentives, or maybe you get it earlier. There's something. But I know Julian Garrity made it very explicit that they've committed to a year of free content with this game. Zachary Jennings, no problem. Bugs, says Matt Franca. Yeah. Hi, can you give me a shout-out, please? I love your vids. What's up, Funny Rage 21? Thanks for checking out IGN Plays Live. This looks like another... Oh, sorry. I'm a little bit... Is Anthem free for all PSM members right now, like Apex? No, Anthem will not be free as far as I'm aware. Could be wrong, though. Okay, so I believe this is a different faction, but again, I just don't know that the factions, except maybe the Black Tusk, which they're not doing all that much, offer a lot of different gameplay variety. Like, you have the rush guy, you have the grenade guy, you have, like, the heavy weapons guy, you have the armor guy, and I feel like that archetype is kind of repeated throughout with some minor variation, but I just don't think that's interesting enough to sustain what could potentially be hundreds of hours in this game. People have real potty mouths in this game. That's something I'll say. They just they spam obscenities. I'm kind of into it. Oh, Whifferino. Oh, what the heck was that? What just happened? Was I at full health or what? What killed me? Is that a mine? Did I just eat my words about enemy variety and unique challenges? What the hell was that? I guess I need to grind more. Alright, fine. We'll grind more, Ubisoft. You want me to do your open world stuff, I'll do it. Flicky T says, pumping over 10,000 bullets into a slow walking boss isn't exactly a fun game. Please tell me the sequel endgame is better. I wish I could, my friend. I wish I could. Great question, by the way. I agree. I really think, okay, so in terms of the endgame missions and kind of similar to Incursions, maybe a little bit, I guess just endgame missions, what I've played is not reassuring. It's all pretty spongy, and it's all dudes with guns. They do have this like interesting nemesis system where the bosses can sometimes, they basically use it to swap out their abilities and stuff, so you do get some unique encounters that way, but it's really not anything spectacular in the way that you would see in Destiny 2 or Anthem. So I totally agree. I think that this game has a core problem. Even just getting rid of the whole reality narrative dissonance thing. The problem is the combat at the end against PvE becomes uninteresting, becomes spongy, becomes monotonous. This combat, I'd go as far to say I'm having a good time right now. Like, enemies are flanking me, I'm dying, there are traps, I have to be cognizant of what I'm doing. That feels good. At the end game, from what I've played, at level 30, there's just this like Division 1 rush of high HP enemies. I need to play more, obviously, and maybe getting geared gets rid of that, but anyway, Flicky T, I hope that answers your question. Do you think Rainbow Six Siege is the best Tom Clancy game? And that question comes from Jimmy. Absolutely. 100%. Oh. I know some people are going to say Vegas. I think Siege is much better than Vegas. And I think people weren't playing Vegas 4 years after actively. Maybe they were. I don't know. But Siege is great. Anthem is not a free-to-play game. Thank you, Punk. That is correct. Game looks cool, not gonna lie. Asked LB. Yeah, it's all right. It's grindy, but some people like that. I can get behind it. I can get behind grinding if there's something to attain, and it has to be a unique experience. It has to be something like the Dark Zone. It has to be something like a raid. So if the raids in the Dark Zone are great, I'm in. But otherwise, all this kind of grindy, monotonous combat, not for me. Wow, these guys don't mess around. Whoop, whoop. Potato. Alright, so this is one level higher than me, which actually seems to be a pretty significant statistical difference. I'm going to focus up on combat here for a second. I'll get back to you, chat, in just a minute. That should have been a hit, but whatever. Whoa. I like that there's damage fall off on these enemy bullets. They can't just truck you from like 100 yards away. That wouldn't feel great. Ooh, grenade launcher. Nice. Gotta move. Cool. That's a mechanic I like. Throw some grenades of my own. I have to use my, I've been doing a terrible job of using my abilities. Kept it all very shooter focused. Enemy leader detected. We'll go get him, drone. You do your thing. We'll heal up. So what suggestions do you have to fix that endgame dilemma in Division? That is a great question. Okay, so difficulty should be mechanical intricacy as opposed to statistical walls, essentially, if you're appropriately geared. Obviously, if you're under geared, okay, then like it's going to be harder statistically, and that's fine. But I really think that they really need to lean into the mechanics. Every boss fight should have telegraphs that are really interesting and really fun. Every boss fight, I feel like, should have some kind of light puzzle element. Maybe it's something like... see, it's really difficult to do this stuff without like dipping out of reality, but an example would be like... a boss can only take damage when he's on fire, and there are fire grenades that you have to pick up, or there are tanks or something. Some extra step in combat that makes the encounter unique. Or maybe there's just multiple phases of a fight instead of just a guy in armor and guns. So they can get there, and I think they might get there with the raids. Here's a great example. That was a boss, but that just behaved like a big spongy enemy. Like, it's just a dude. So that's what I would do to fix the PvE endgame. They might get there with raids. I haven't played raids. We'll see. Raids are 8 players, which is exciting. Okay, so I'm going to call allies, and enemies are going to rush in. The AI seems kind of dumb. What do you think? That was a good question. And where did your name go? Sorry. Whoever asked that, I'm sorry. The AI is better than it was in the Division 1. And I actually think it's serviceable. It's been flanking me. It's been doing some interesting stuff. I don't think it's that dumb. It definitely has its dumb moments. Like the face roll guys are still the face roll guys that just rush at you with the baton like this dude. Enemy leader detected. Okay, there's a minigun. I should probably use it, huh? Where you at? Whoa. So this enemy boss has the ability to teleport, which is great. It's definitely an improvement from D1, says Radical Geek. I agree. How does the lag... Is there any lag, I guess, is the question. I've had a couple of experiences, but not nearly as bad as Anthem. Is the game better than the first Division game? I think the answer probably is yes. I mean, I still have to experience the Dark Zone, so there's a lot of elements. But I think the answer is yes. Is it much better? That remains to be seen. Okay, so this plaza is completed. I should have unlocked a loot room. Supply room unlocked. Where you at? Great. Okay, so what I just did was I'm not sure what it's called, control point. Those are fun. You kind of show up, beat the enemies that are there, call in reinforcements, and then defend. And then when you do that, you get a boss, and then you get a loot room at the end. So this is like very Diablo 3 Rift-esque, which I like, and it's just emergently part of the open world. I don't know if you... Ooh, nice. I don't know if you go through these. It's just going to be a situation where you do it once and then they never show up. But I'd imagine there might be world tiers. We'll see. This seems like a D1 expansion, asks Scott D. I think that's fair criticism. I know a lot of people think that's hyperbole, but I think this is a massive D1 expansion, if that's the case. And I also don't think that's necessarily a problem. I feel like the Division, or Destiny 2 in some sense, was a Destiny 1 expansion that just kind of refumbled around a lot of the mechanics and therefore got off to a equally bad start as Destiny 1 did. I'm going to open this cache. Ooh, I got some interesting choices here. Loot, pretty interesting, I have to say. They're really taking advantage of a lot of different archetypes of weapons, LMGs. There's an automatic shotgun here. There's a, this is also a semi-automatic shotgun. There's a lot more DMRs, which are single semi-automatic. We'll do this. We'll do shotgun here. Full auto shotgun. Do this. Let's see if I can mod anything yet. I don't think I have mods. Don't want a 12X on my LMG, thanks. Oh, here's a great question. Leon and Neol says, do you think Insurgency can teach AAA shooters a lesson in having more nuanced and difficult gunplay? Shooters tend to be more run and gun nowadays. That's a really interesting thought, and yes, I do think Insurgency's gunplay, I think you either adapt, I'm trying to donate water to this guy, you either adapt to the recoil or you die, and I think that's really fun. I think like you find weapons like the G3A3 that you can kind of control a little bit more if you're not so skilled in doing this kind of drag down automatic thing. But with that said, I feel like gunplay in 2019 is just so good across the board. So many games nail the gunplay. Even The Division feels all right compared to shooters from 2010 and before. I feel like gunplay is one of the most universally nailed mechanics across most games. So they're getting there, like noticeable recoil, low time to kill, stuff like that. I really liked your Insurgency review, by the way. Thank you so much. It described the mechanics so well. Thank you. I really like what I try to do with my reviews is, I mean, everybody forms an opinion, and then you just support that opinion with evidence. It's not hard. And I really think, like, it's okay to be separated from the pack. I think a lot of conventional review outlets, like IGN, gave Insurgency kind of like around, you know, 7.58. Yeah, it's a shooter, but it's not a AAA shooter, so I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. That's a trap. It's a phenomenal game. I think it could be better, and I think that ultimately the team size led to some of its shortcomings, but its shortcomings are not... It's just like, just more content. And I think that game is phenomenal. Like, I really believe that game is great, and I'm happy that I was able to shed some light on it and show people that, hey, maybe this is something you should be paying attention to. Especially for a Milsim-esque game, like, Insurgency does the best job of any game I can think of treading the line between Milsim and arcade shooter and knowing when to be a game and knowing when to be a simulation. It's great. It's really good. Watch Dogs 3, I don't know. Are your glasses part of the IGN accessory pack for an agent? Yes, we all have glasses. I think that's just myopia from staring at a screen too long. Oh, God. Where? Oh, there you are. God. Blending into the environment there. All right, so this is the risk here. In a situation like this, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to run down, shoot this guy, and then 10 enemies are going to pop out of that door. You watch, and then I'm going to die. Oh, here they come. Where are they? Where are they? Combat roll? Okay, I guess I'm fine. I guess I'll eat my words. Whatever. Guys, the best thing just happened. Funny Rage telling a fun anecdote about his brother's dope at Fortnite. Hi, thanks for streaming. Which score would you give to this game at this stage? Greetings from Sweden. Hello, Amir. You can't trick me, Sweden. I know you're part of the massive development team there in Sweden, so I'm not going to answer that. No. But seriously, I would not put a score. A score is the last thing. A score really is just a result of what you've written about the game. I don't think you go into a game intending it to give a certain score. You just write down your feelings, you support your argument, and then you come out with a number that best reflects what you wrote in 3,000 words in, you know, a single numerical value. So it can be tough. I think scores are. I think there's an argument to get rid of scores, but frankly, like when you're standing at GameStop or Walmart and you're not a really hardcore gamer who likes a deep dive on stuff and they just want to know if something's good or not, you Google it and then you see IGN and then hopefully you can trust that. But I think we have some work to do with consistency. Like that's always an ongoing struggle, and I'm trying to do everything I can to make that better. There are a lot of people internally who play many hours of games every night, and I wish we could do a better job of showing that at times. Also, there's almost always more than one person playing a single game, so I do feel like there's some kind of compromise of like, hey, you've played this, check out my review, what do you think? And our reviews editor, Dan Stapleton, is very good about listening to people's feedback, implementing it to the best of his ability, but he's got a difficult job of, you know, we got to review this many games because there are this many games coming out, so who can do it? And not everybody can. Leon says, I wish people focused on reading the reviews and understanding their critiques rather than getting mad that they don't agree with the score. Totally. I agree. 100%. That being said, I get it. Like, I love movies. I don't really care to read your 4,000-word review. I just want to know if it's good or not. So, I get it. Can you aim down sights, or is it only third person? Asked Brandon Gray. This is aiming down sights. So, it is only third person. Well, okay. Let me take that back. If you have an ACOG or something with significant magnification, I believe you can press the melee button and you will zoom in. But that's, I don't know if I classify that as first person. It's just a scope mechanic. Are you going to play Anthem? Asked Tyler Castro. Yes, I am going to be playing Anthem. I'm actually going to be reviewing Anthem. On some high-profile reviews here in Q1. We'll see. And spectacle and graphics are not enough to do it for me, folks. So if the gameplay's not there, it's not getting a great score. We'll see. Played a lot of MMOs, played a lot of shared world shooters, so I know what I'm looking for in a game like that, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it. The first game was boring, says Cortez. I don't disagree. I think the most fun I had was in the Dark Zone, and I think that was kind of also a disaster. Because when you run up to somebody with something like an AA-12 and start pumping shotgun shells into their face, and they gain HP instead of lose it, then there's something mechanically wrong with your game, your shooter, that has to be addressed, especially in PvP. Maybe it was a mistake to stop shooting that guy who's kind of dying very quickly. Oh, yeah! There we go. Boss is dead. Oh. Come on. Do you think reviewing a game like Anthem or The Division is hard due to the end game being really being the chore of the game? Chris Draper, no, I don't think it's hard. I do think it's time consuming. But I think those are two different things. And like, look, if the end game's a chore and it doesn't have something worthwhile at the end, then that's part of the review. And that's a really big part of like why reviewing MMOs is interesting. It's not just the initial experience, and it's not just the cool new flight mechanics. It's the, how does this game hold up if I want to put 300 hours into it? And obviously I can't get to 300 hours before I put my review out, but hopefully I can get close enough to render a verdict of how it's going to play at 300 hours. I don't think there's been a game that I've been 90 hours into, and then 300 hours later, it's like a massive revelation in terms of changes. So, really good question, though. Thank you for that. That was a great question. Whoop. There we go. Die. Great. That was fun. I will say that the firefights and the situations they put you in solo with the AI rushing at you, a lot more interesting than the Division 1's early game, for sure. I feel good about the early game of the Division, and I feel good, actually, about the very tail end. Maybe. We'll see. I think they have the right mindset in terms of post-launch content, but the question is it as mechanically interesting at the end if I'm just, like, putting my whole 100-round LMG magazine into one guy? And I think the answer is probably no. I see you playing Tom Clancy's Bullet Sponge Simulator 2, says Punisher. Not wrong, but at this early game stage, I don't think it's quite as bullet spongy, but that boss, so what they did to like account for those kind of bosses is they add armor that breaks off visually, so you have some kind of indicator, but it works in that kind of situation when I'm level 6 and the enemy's dying inside of 10, 15 seconds. It doesn't work when the enemy's living after 40 seconds, you know, at level 30, so... I also want to get my signature weapon. I'm not sure when that happens, but signature weapons are a really cool addition, and probably mechanically my favorite thing that the Division 2 is doing to separate itself from the first game, which is like you get these big bombastic weapons like a Barrett 50 cal sniper or a grenade launcher or a crossbow, which to me feels like a worse grenade launcher, but what do I know? But anyway, that's cool. That's a cool class identity thing that the Division 1, I think, just really didn't do well with the whole, like, signature moves of, like, everybody's healed now. I don't care. This isn't WoW. You're not a shaman. Oh. These level 7 enemies outside of the zone are really just spawning over and over, and I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. Let's go back to an area and see what we want to do. All right. Am I high enough to go to the dark zone? Let's try it. Whoop. Messed up there. What time is it, folks? 2:05. We've got an hour left. We're about halfway through the stream. Thank you guys for joining me. Can you give me a channel shout-out? The channel is called Funny Rage 21. I'm sad. That sounds like an interesting channel. If you're a mix of sad and angry, that sounds like it could lead to some fun Let's Plays. Viewers, view at your own discretion. Who knows what's up there, but if you're feeling generous. Division 2 with Ghost Recon Wildlands gameplay would have been better. No bullet sponge, just pure tactical and stealth. I'm going to try and pronounce your name. Danish? Anyway, thank you. That's a great comment. And yes, the key thing that is missing from the Division 2, and always has been, and the Division 1, is stealth. Where is stealth in the Tom Clancy shooter? Not here, apparently. Stealth is not a part of the Division 2. Stealth is... As soon as you fire that first bullet or you use that first ability, stealth is over. There are no suppressors. There's no knife jugular kills. Like, that's a big part of Tom Clancy games to me. And it's this game, I feel like, could have so many more interesting encounters mechanically. Uh-oh. If there was some level of stealth. I totally agree. I think that's a great comment. Oh. If you're used to MMORPG games, why is there a problem with mobs and bosses in this game taking a lot of damage? Just because it's not fantasy? That's part of it, sure, that's a really good question. But I think the other thing is this game is not doing enough mechanically to set itself apart in terms of keeping me entertained and interested and making interesting choices from the moment to moment. I have this, right? I have that little thing. And then I have another ability, and that's it. And those abilities are not incredibly impactful. I'm not fulfilling a role aside from the weapon and every class's damage. And doing this is not riveting gameplay. In something like World of Warcraft, right? Yes, you have auto attack, but you're using cooldowns, you're on a rotation, you're looking at situational awareness, there are telegraphs happening, there are multiple phases, there are mechanics, there's team play, there's things that you can do that other classes don't. It's a lot more dynamic of a system than what I just showed, which I'm not going to do again because we'll lose everybody who's watching the stream. Cortez says, I almost fell asleep. Me too. The methodical beat of an LMG, enough to make me sleep. So I hope that was a good example. Can I get a shout out from my YouTube? King's Gourmet Gaming. Do you actually cook on your YouTube? Because that is dope. Oh God, these guys hurt so bad. Come on, pop up, pop up, pop up. I'm dead. Those enemies like one-shot me, and I'm only one level lower than them. We'll just respawn. We're gonna keep doing open world stuff because apparently I'm not geared enough. Are you going to the Dark Zone? I'm trying, Nation, but there's an impassable wall of enemies that one-shot me with their shotguns. We're just gonna go right back. Let's just get to the Dark Zone. Damn it! I got so close, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Oh. Just been playing this thinking this will work out to be a great game, Rich B. I don't disagree, but I'm not sure I agree either. Time will tell. I think it could get there for sure. I just think the question, there are some questions that need to be answered. And I don't think that you're ever going to get any enjoyment out of this game's endgame if you can't handle that spongy, monotonous shooting. The other crazy thing about the endgame missions in this game is one of them, and both of them really, just send out waves of enemies at a time that take a cumulative total of like 5 minutes of damage to bring them all down. And they just pour out. And the AI and what you're seeing with the flanking and all the interesting stuff the AI is doing at this level, it feels like at the end of the game, they all kind of path in a similar direction because the spaces are a lot closer, and you just run up against this wall of stats, and it's not really fun. Can't kill impression, asked Mr. Gates 92. Oh, damn it, Bobby. Stop being so spongy. Oh, Ladybird. Good enough, hopefully. Have you done any missions? Yeah, I've done a few. Trying to go to the Dark Zone right now. Do you raid on other channels? I will if there's good raiding content to be had. We raid on Fireteam chat sometimes. Recently, the game that I've been playing, honestly, is Apex Legends. Apex Legends is really good, and you should all check it out because it's totally free. I'm addicted, hardcore, to the point where it's affecting my sleep schedule. Have you played story? I have. Can you drive vehicles in this game? Asks Erdem. The answer there is no. No vehicles. You can close car doors, though. All right. Putting on my game face. These silly AI enemies have been kicking my butt, which is embarrassing. We'll get past them, try and get into the Dark Zone. Guess how old I am, asked Funny Rage. 27. What if I nailed it? What if I'm some kind of age-guessing prophet? Corridor closing simulator, let's do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one's refusing to close. How unsatisfying this one's going to go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Ooh. That's some good stuff. Supposedly they're able to, like, track the stats of that. I'm not sure how. Open the gate. Here we go, baby. North of the wall. You're 11. Oh, my God. And you have a YouTube channel. That's nuts, dude. I respect the hustle. Wish I had a YouTube channel when I was 11. I don't even know YouTube. Was YouTube a thing in 2001? Not sure. Open the gate. I need to open the gate. Let's open the gate. Dark Zone, please. Show me the interesting gameplay. I really want the Dark Zone to be good, man. I think the Dark Zone is such a cool idea for a AAA shared world shooter. I think the one thing Destiny 2 is missing is some kind of emergent PvP/PvE. The decision in an MMO that has all these, well, not an MMO, a shared world shooter that has all these crazy different balanced weapons to do constructed esports-esque PvP never really made sense to me, because that's not an environment where getting a dope piece of loot shines. Because then again, it gets nerfed. If it's too far out of the little bar of balance, then it gets nerfed. If you're in something like an Apex-esque environment, if you're in something like in an open world Rust-esque environment, then I think asymmetry is okay. So the Dark Zone is a really cool idea. Even though I'm 11, I like bands from the 90s, Funny Rage. That's nice. I like bands from the 90s too. Rangers lead the way. I just watched Black Hawk Down. That movie holds up, dude. And then I looked at a bunch of Battle of Mogadishu stuff and was amazed afterwards. Is this a reskin of Division 1? No, it's not a reskin. It is an evolution. Well, okay, it is the Division 1 redone, maybe, is a way of putting it. I don't think reskin is fair here, because, like, the whole point of games like this is they're iterative. They're taking the lessons learned from the original game and applying them to a new thing. Ooh. Ooh. Scan the area. Alright. I think this is a PvE mission. I don't think this is PvP yet. The world is purple. Reach the military camp. Let's do it. This is the Dark Zone. Hello from Singapore. What's up, Darren? Thanks for joining us, man. So what is the Dark Zone? Great question, Erdem. The Dark Zone is it's a dynamic PvP/PvE space where you get loot. There's higher level enemies. The lethality is higher, and there's it's kind of this ecosystem where you can kill other players, take their stuff, and then evacuate it. So really cool idea and concept. In practice, though, the Division 1, the Dark Zone was kind of a place where you came to show off how statistically geared you were and not necessarily how good you were. So hopefully that changes. Dark Zone in Division 2 is normalized, so I have much, much greater hope. I think the Division 1's beta Dark Zone was actually pretty cool, just because the level cap was so low for everybody. Hope that's a good explanation. When is your next... What did that ask? When is your next stream? I don't know. We'll see. There's not really a set schedule here, and streaming's always kind of up for grabs. I need to tag more supplies. Where are they at? There they are. What does your job entail? Do you stream for IGN? Lazy Dog asks. So my job is editorial producer, and the short answer is I do a lot of stuff. Recently, what I've been focusing on is reviews. I have been dipping my toes into reviews about a year ago, maybe 6 months, and now I'm really putting my best foot forward. Like, I really think that you formulate an opinion, you need evidence to support your opinion, and you have to convince people that A, you know what you're talking about, and B, and this is really important in 2019, that you're good at the game. So use a lot of gameplay of me kicking butt. I think I'm okay. I'm no Sir Demetrius. But I can definitely hold my own in multiplayer shooters. And I think that's important. I think, like, your experience in a multiplayer shooter or a game like Apex Legends is going to be directly impacted by your ability to succeed at that game. So if you're a terrible player and you're reviewing the game, I think your opinion is only valid for other players who have a long way to go. That makes sense. He threw his friend under the bus. What? I haven't thrown anybody under the bus. This is a general statement. I'm not singling anybody out. I think this is just some of the ideals that I hold true, and obviously everybody at IGN has different opinions, and that's part of what makes reviewing games at IGN difficult. Is I think a lot of people look at us as some kind of conglomerate or some kind of, like, weird corporate entity, when really we're just gamers. Like, a lot of people who are working at IGN right now haven't been employed at IGN for 5 years or more. I'd say most people have been employed for less than 2 years. So, activate Echo. I've done that. What do I do now? Cyborg Man. I'm loving Apex Legends so far. Right there with you. Love it. I've seen some reviewers playing Apex Legends. Yeah. I initially wanted to do that review, but there were some scheduling concerns with another big review that precluded me from doing that. And I'm bummed, but the guy who's reviewing it has done other Battle Royales. Scott Petit, I believe, or Pettit. has done other battle royales. He's a freelancer, and I've definitely enjoyed some of his other reviews. So, and ultimately, reviews are subjective. I don't know that there's a right answer, but I do think that there's a range. All right, I've activated the Echo. What more do you want from me, Ubisoft? I don't have the attention span for this, clearly. Do you want me to read all this, or what? Somebody, please help. Julian Garrity, tell me, what do you want from me? I've activated the Echo. Is this a bug, or do you need me to walk through these guys a certain number of times? Darren says, you're awesome for always responding to the chat. Thank you. And, oh, there we go. And if you didn't get your question asked, it's not because I didn't like it. It's just because I didn't see it. So, ooh, please ask it again. All right, now there's a rush of enemies. Spongy boy. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's cool to see armor break off of him, I guess. I'm probably going to die here. All right. That was approaching the realm of Spongy, and that's how it starts. And when it's one enemy, it's okay. You feel like he's a boss. You feel like he has some sweet Kevlar, blah, blah, blah. When it's 10 enemies, then it just feels bad. And I think all the things that are accomplished with the gunplay and the animation and the kill animations and all that go right out the window. So, all right, reaching the safe zone. What's your favorite band? Mine is Slipknot, funny rage. Kindred Spirits, bro. I love Slipknot. If I had to choose a favorite, I'm a big metal guy. I've been getting really into Meshuggah recently and then trying to get into Degent, which I know is not the way you pronounce it, but that's the way I like to pronounce it. But it's a little bit iterative. I don't know. It gets a little bit jazz fusion-y at points, so. But I'm pretty eclectic with my tastes. Throw grenades. No, I refuse. I could, but 666 viewers. Hail to the beast. Damn, they straight juggernaut, says Lazy Dog. You bet. PvP, have you played any? I'm trying, Stefan. This is what we're trying to do right now, but they're making me go through the paces. We're going to be playing some PvP. The Dark Zone is probably the thing that I'm most excited for with the Division 2, maybe equaled by raids, but the raids are going to be post-launch. Favorite console ever, asks Yum Sunday, N64. N64 was a console that I think had so much first-party support and so much third-party support that it was like the kind of premier place to play games, and then I think that kind of became PCs as time went on. Hey, what's up? What's up, AJ Frames? How's it going? Do you listen to hip-hop? I do listen to hip-hop. I'm pretty into Logic recently, but I don't really... it takes a long time for me to, like, kind of warm up to newer artists. I think some of my favorites historically are probably... Listened to a lot of NWA when I was a kid. Atmosphere, if you know him, I'm a big fan. Eminem, obviously, but... Hey, Destin, dang, you've been lifted, bro. Does it say I'm destined? Where does it say I'm destined? And yes, I've been hitting the gym. Does it say it on Fireteam Chat or something? Anyway. Hi, something different about cheaters. I play First Division in the Dark Zone. Oh, there were many cheating. That's a great question, Michael. There were many cheaters, therefore I stopped playing. There were a lot of cheaters, and I remember that. I remember the cheaters from the Dark Zone. I don't really know because I didn't keep up with the Dark Zone because when the game went live, I noticed that it was just about your gear and it wasn't about your choices or your decision making. Neutralize the hostiles. Okay. You know what? I kind of want to see what weapons I got here. I'm going to swap this gun out. This. There's a Super 8 there. Super 90 rather. Can you do more flexing poses like you did with the Genji sword? That was a special treat. Once in a blue moon. Check out my Instagram. Oh, I also have not been hitting the gym recently. I'd like to say I've been too busy with reviews and gaming, but there's also an element of laziness in there. Well, oh, come on. What was that? What'd I get? Contaminated. Okay, so there's a I said that with a Boston accent for some reason. Contaminated. Contaminated shotgun there. So I can't equip it directly, which is an intentional design choice unlike other games, Anthem. So I have to extract it. And you can see I have this little pack on my back now. So I don't know if I'm in the PvP phase yet, but if I was, somebody could kill me and take it from me. Hey, IGN, do you think that Apex Legends is coming to Switch? Daniel asked Daniel. I don't think it is, but if it did, that'd be dope. I'm 100% into that game. A zombie DLC would be neat. I agree. I'm just waiting for... I've always been waiting for zombies to show up in this game. I feel like that's a running joke with me. What time is it? Okay, we got about 40 minutes, so we have time. Saying you've been busy with reviews and gaming is work. Now that's the dream. That is the dream. Oh, extraction. Yeah, I do love this job. And I've really been getting into the core of what I want to do here at IGN, which is reviews. Plain and simple. I really feel like it's an area where I can make a difference. And I think there are some like-minded individuals here. And it can be tough, though, man. IGN has a reputation, and it's not a good one in terms of reviews. So you have that going against you. And I think some of that is like, it's just cool to hate on IGN, but I think some of that is also like, we gotta shore up some holes in the ship. And I think everybody internally from the staff is in a really good position to do that right now. I feel like there are a lot of really, really clever minds at the company right now that are interested in trying new things. All right, attach and loot, 26 seconds. Why does Washington, D.C. look like a swamp? That's a great question. I guess it's summer. Does anybody live in Washington, D.C.? Is this what it looks like? Maybe this is a commentary on what happens when Washington, D.C. goes to crap. You know, they say this game is devoid of political commentary, but I can't imagine that's the truth. And I also feel like games, just like any other media or any other art, should be political commentary is fair game. But I do think this game was conceptualized before things that would inspire political commentary kind of started happening. So maybe this really is apolitical. Make your own mind up. What are we doing? Dark Zone, return to the checkpoint. Okay, I want to fight a player. Do you guys, I don't know if you were watching this stream, but I got a lot of crap for this on Twitter and on Twitch. Fallout 76, as soon as I hit level 5, I went up to a player with a shotgun and shot them in the face. And nothing happened. And that was the last time I played Fallout 76. And a lot of people gave me flack, but I think, like, look how that game turned out. I think that there's an intuition to time to kill in PvP, allowing people to be the aggressor, allowing them to be punished later on. You can't have your cake and eat it too when it comes to a open world PvP griefing space. Look at Rust. People are still playing Rust and have thousands of hours in Rust because it's interesting, because it's dynamic, because it lets you play the way you want to play. So I hope the Division 2 is like that. I know they reworked the rogue system, but I hope I can still just like go up to somebody and just murk them, even if that does mark me as rogue. Activate the turret. That's dope. Look at that. Oh, okay. We're defending. So is there kind of like an extraction sequence now? That'd be cool. Because I do remember one of the problems with the first division is you would just kind of camp this door area. And kind of go back and forth through it. Cheese status. What's the first grenade you threw? I believe it was... Oh, that was the first grenade I threw. Yeah, I gotta get used to the grenades. I also just feel like they don't feel great. Like, whatever. The enemies move too fast to get a lot of them. Like, yeah, they're in cover sometimes, but most stuff you can just kill. Would you rather play The Last of Us early or watch Avengers Endgame early? I'd rather watch Avengers Endgame early. And I know that may sound like heresy. I became a big Marvel guy. I think it's a lot of fun. And also, The Last of Us, I love. It's just not my speed, I suppose. I guess I'm just looking for different things in my games. Loved God of War. Absolutely loved Resident Evil 2. But I'm looking for multiplayer. Like, ultimately, I think what I'm looking for in my game, if I had to boil it down to one factor, is multiplayer communication and expression. I'm looking to hang out with my buddies. I'm looking to play. I'm looking to get, kind of challenge myself with them. Definitely a multiplayer guy first, but that's a very personal preference, and I know a lot of people have the absolute opposite. Okay, it wants me to defend the checkpoint, but this guy is just hightailing it out of here, so I don't really know. Okay, never mind. Yes, please let me fight someone before the stream is over. Is this game split screen? Asks split screen, a prophetic name for a prophetic question. And the answer is no. What's your favorite Javelin and Anthem? Asked Tyler Castro. Mine's The Storm. I think The Storm is a really cool choice. I think the Anthem that I came to kind of love was the... oh, God, what the heck is it called? Titan, Juggernaut. God, Colossus. Colossus. The Colossus is my favorite in Anthem so far. But, again, there's some abilities on the Colossus that just don't feel good, and one of them is the Mortar. You feel like that should one-shot stuff, and it just doesn't do enough damage for how difficult and buggy it is to land. All right, what are we doing here? Upload map data. Massive, if you're watching, this is a lot of steps to go through to kill somebody, but I'll do it because I love PvP. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome do you think the Division's cosmetics are? 2, maybe a 3. All right, maybe not a 3, maybe like a 4 or 5. But the cosmetics are not, I mean, they're real-world apparel without some of the artistic expression of something like Rainbow Six Siege. Maybe I just haven't been keeping up with it, but I feel like the aesthetics are middling at best. Guns are cool, man. I'm a big gun nut. But at some point, I do think, like, getting my 50th M249 is just not that interesting. The best aesthetics in a shared world shooter might be Destiny, might in an MMO might be World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft knows how to make your character look cool, but World of Warcraft eventually got to a place where, like, aesthetic badassness was did not correlate to, like, you being a boss, if that makes any sense. Basically, in vanilla and before transmogs, I think you saw somebody with dope gear, they were gonna be a problem if they were on the opposite faction. I think now it's just like so many cool sets have been grandfathered in that it's just purely expression. You're wearing shorts. It's a 1. That's a great comment, says Edgar. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Let's try and find somebody. Let's try and kill somebody. I'm gonna be a jerk, and I'd like to say this is only for experimentation's sake, but this is also kind of how I play. I'd apologize, but I don't care. Yeah, I go to the PvP zone to PvP, believe it or not. And I wish I had some friends with me, but oh well. Shorts and bandana, too. Can't compete with fantasy. Can't compete fantasy with real world, asked Dan Reed. That was a really good question to score the aesthetics. Again, the aesthetics of something like this do have an impact on the score, but I think it's pretty minimal. This is not like a thing where I'm adding up some kind of mathematical equation to get a final score on the game. And a 2 or 3 is not indicative of my opinion of this game in any way, except for that single element of aesthetic progression. So I hope that's clear. It's really not that big of a deal, though I do think, well, having important-looking loot and cool-looking loot I do think is important for character progression. But anyway, that's a small facet of a single part of the game. What is this? Oh, there's some enemies. All right, grenade guy, you're going to love this. Guy who's adamant about me throwing grenades. There's some grenades for you. We'll even do a second one, just for funsies. That did reduce the time to kill, I won't lie. Grenades are finite, though. I don't know that time to kill is going to be as much of an issue in these dark zones as it will in the endgame missions, where enemies like that are remarkably numerous. Go back up for this guy. Oh, come on, roll when I tell you to roll, please. Get him, droid. Oh god, this disorients you so good. And here comes everybody else, and I can't really move. Okay, red bars, that's good. It's nice that these are all not just legendary enemies. Gonna reload the LMG, even though I'm at 78 rounds. I have a bad habit of that. Is PvP required to progress in the game? No, it is not. And at some point, that's great, but at some point, that becomes a fault of the game, in my opinion. An example would be... if you wanted to get Sulfurous Hand of Ragnaros, you had to run Molten Core. It's like, I want that, but I don't have time to run it. It's like, then you don't get it. But The Division is totally not that kind of game. It's much more like, hey, there are going to be some exclusive raid items, I believe, but beyond that, I don't think they're going to have content exclusivity behind certain activities. That makes sense. Inbound extraction. Thank you. Where? Okay. Yeah, fine. If we're just looking at PvP, I'll go to that. Boom. Thank you. Great call out. Kind of distracted here. Is this fun to play? It's becoming more and more fun to play the more I play it. I do think there is something to be said about getting in tune with your character's progression and becoming invested in your character in the Division, because at the beginning it's like, whatever. But and you're playing with a character that is not going to carry over. You're somewhat apathetic. But also, like, you get to a place and you're like, all right, I'm starting to get some gear. I feel good. Where are you based? I'm in San Francisco. Ubisoft has made me so upset about their pricing. Yeah, their pricing's not great, and they're definitely getting a little bit EA with their pricing model, with the frequency. But, you know, whatever. I mean, games are hard to develop. They take a lot of money. I think you have a game like Apex Legends that comes in for free and shows up literally everything that ever came up to Origin. Then you get to see, like, what really effective pricing is. Have you ever seen, I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to say it, Running Simulator? Yes. West Virginia, I'm going to get sued if I sing any more of that. The drop has started. Where are you at, other player? Where are you at? We're just doing this for experimentation purposes. I see another player. I'm going to shoot him, and I'm probably going to die because I don't have any medkits. But, okay, so there's a DZ drop. I didn't run to the extraction. I ran to the drop. Whoops. All right, we'll hang out at the drop. Let's just hang out at the drop and see what happens. Niam says, this game feels like a cash grab. I'm not impressed. Not enough grenade slots, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I didn't mean to blah, blah, blah you. It just cut off, so I couldn't see. I don't think it's a cash grab. I do think that there's a legitimate amount of work that went into this. Whether or not you can see the effects of it and feel like it's a worthy purchase is up to you, but I kind of wish they would just do an open beta so, like, people could play it. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but... yes, there's a story mode. I guess it's kind of tied in everything else. All right, here comes the drop. I hear the thing, and it's gone. Where? It says it's here. Okay. Come on, drop something. I don't know what the emote button is. All right, we'll just go to okay, nothing happened there. That was weird. It's an extraction point, yeah, extraction area. All right, there's no active extractions. I guess we'll just fight. I'm looking for players as best I can. Look up. I looked up. Nothing happened. I have a feeling I'm going to get killed here. These are all yellow. I appreciate that they're not all yellow and they're not all epic. They're like some red bars in there. That guy's epic though. Cool. This time to kill is still fine. Like, I still feel good about this. I mean, like, that's still okay. It's pushing it a little bit, but it looks like the Dark Zone enemies are not going to be as crazy as the mission enemies in terms of time to kill. Maybe I'm just not at the right tier, but man, those mission enemies are spongy in the late game. What skills are you using? I'm only using the roller droid because when I went back to the White House, I didn't have skill points. DZ drop available, 0.3 kilometers. We'll check it out. See what this is all about. Time check. Got about 20 minutes left. There are 2 drops on the map. I'm going for them. Is playing Apex Legends clout chasing? I don't think so. I think I'm playing it because it's fun. Apex Legends doesn't seem better than Titanfall 2. Better is a subjective term, and I guess a lot of quantifying terms are, but I will say that Apex Legends is a lot more focused and a lot more clever than Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2's campaign was phenomenal, but its multiplayer was scattered and directionless, I think. And I think, like, just playing for a Call of Duty progression in a game that comes out a week after Battlefield 1, you're going to have problems. Apex Legends, free to play, out now, really interesting new take on Battle Royale. I think it's great, man. I don't know that the two are directly comparable, but I do think, like, if I had to choose one, it would obviously be Apex Legends to play. Titans are dope, but like Apex Legends, I think is proof positive that Respawn has more up their sleeve than Titans. Like they understand design. Mimo Cassine, what's up, man? Shout out delivered. Extraction in 30 seconds. I'm checking out this DZ drop. I made a decision. It says it's available. Maybe I have to trigger something. Hopefully there will be other players here. Nope, the master is here. Who is he chasing? I'm less concerned about the named enemies and more interested in the people that they are chasing. Looks like it's a player. Nope, maybe no player here. So an AI was looting the DZ drop. I wonder if it does some phasing thing where like it doesn't put me with other players yet because I'm not experienced enough. I'm gonna die. Dang it. Sorry, y'all. Okay, new rule from here on out. I'm only going to Dark Zone pickups because I'm really just trying to find another player. Can I have a second shout out? I'm not. Nobody gets a second shout out. All right. Southern Extraction, 0.4 kilometers away, departing. I may be too late, but I believe this would indicate that there are other players on the map, yeah? I believe the instance size is 12. Can't wait for the Division to turn into an esport. Don't hold your breath. I want to go Rouge. We're heading north. Northern Extraction. Is this happening? No. Southern Extraction is departing. How far is that? Real far. We're just gonna... Oh, TZ drop ended. We're gonna camp this area for the remaining 20 minutes, and we're just gonna see if we can find another player. If the other one gets a departing, I'll go to it, but... Ooh, flamethrower guy. No, thank you. Stop. Let me aim, please. I really don't like games that take control away from you for extended periods of time, especially in the shooter category. Shotgun feels good. I don't think I hit him with that. Oh, yeah, I did. Nice. Turns out grenades are good. That guy in chat who's giving me flack about not using grenades, you may have been right. All right, tier 2, I got a perk. Southern Extraction. Still waiting, chilling, looking. That aim assist. There is no aim assist because I'm playing on a mouse. That's all me, baby. Emmanuel, I've never been picked for a beta. This is like the 4th game I don't get beta. I'll be honest, man. The chances of getting beta if you don't have something to offer are pretty slim, and especially for AAA games. Like, the chances of getting a natural beta... Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the question. There are 2 guys here. They're gonna kick my butt, so be prepared for a chat. But the question is, can I just shoot these dudes, and can they just shoot me? We're doing a little posturing. Toss a nade right here, and I'm just gonna open up, and nothing's happening. So I think I need to like actually activate myself as a rogue. I don't know how I feel about that, dude. How do I emote? How do you guys feel about that in the chat? I have things to say about this. I'm not sure you want to hear them. All right, so I think the way it works is I have to go find some stupid terminal, and I have to say that I'm going rogue, which I guess maybe there's a really good gameplay explanation there. Maybe I'm being premature to judge this, but I do think there's something intuitive about going into a dangerous space that you feel that tension, kind of like DayZ, and just shooting somebody in the head, taking their stuff, and leaving. And have the ability for that to be done to you, I also think is interesting. So, hold T. Here it is. Got to mark myself as rogue. Got to flag myself for PvP first. Who the heck are you? Oh, you're following me. Okay. I don't have any grenades, or do I? I do. Rolling out. Thank you for that, friend. I got 2 folks on here. All right, I was in cover. He wasn't, but I guess he wins. Fair enough. We'll try it again. We'll gear up on some grenades first. How about that? Oh, look at his gear, too. But this isn't supposed to matter, so we'll see. That is so dumb. You can go rogue anywhere, hold it down. Okay, so, I mean, if you're a WoW guy, it's a PvE server. Unless you're in the invaded Dark Zone. Right, let's manage my stuff, shall we? If I'm going to go rogue, I feel like LMG is an okay choice. But I feel like maybe an AK might be better. I don't really have any. I guess level doesn't matter, right? So it's just... We'll get a drone, please. Oh, I have the drone. I just didn't equip it. I'm a dummy. Yeah, send us a lot. Boom. There we go. Do that. What else do we want to do here? I just want to gear up on healing items and stuff. I got my stash. What is this? Shouldn't I have a weapon here because I extracted something, or did I, like, lose it somehow? Deliveries? Yeah. There it is. Standard. Move to inventory? Can I do that? Move to inventory. No, I can't do that. Okay, clearly need to learn some stuff about this, but we're just going to get back into it with the fighting. Is there still a resource box here? Gonna try and get a gank before this game is over. Or the stream. Stay in... Rogue is... For fools, stay in school. It's Rouge. I'm trying to go Rouge here, guys. We're gonna go back to that extraction. There are other players. Flank, he says. I don't know how you flank somebody who knows where you are and isn't distracted. Flanking would indicate that they're distracted. You can get behind them. I think one of the metrics I'm going to grade this on in terms of the review is how intuitive the PvP is, because at its core, what this game is saying to me with its aesthetic and its title and its choice of weapons and its choice of genre is this is a shooter. This is a third-person shooter. So if there are a lot of factors to PvP beyond just shooting somebody in the head and avoiding damage yourself, then I think that's going to be a problem with me. I don't know if you guys feel the same in chat. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn about this. Like, clearly, there's more mechanical RPG depth than just rolling up on somebody, but I do feel like it should be intuitive at some point there. Got 15 minutes. We'll see if we can get a kill here. I'm not sure if players get some kind of HUD notification if I go Rogue or Rouge. Scruffy says the problem is the beta is only 5% of the content. It's really not a beta, it's a demo. I don't agree. It may be, if you put all the content on paper and spend the amount of time that you would play playing it, that might be true, but I don't think the same can be said for the vertical slice of gameplay experiences you're getting. Like, I think if the Dark Zone plays like this here, it'll probably play similar to this in 100 hours. Maybe it'll be vastly different. I'm sure mechanically there will be different stuff going on, but I do think that is a dangerous mindset to have, especially in pre-order culture. You don't want to play the Anthem demo and say, guys, this is it, not it. There's going to be 10 times as many enemies. There's going to be so many more bosses. Like, you don't know that. And if the past is anything to go off of, the chances are there probably will not be. So when you play a game like this, if you're having fun, okay, maybe pre-order. If you're not having fun, you're like, well, this is going to be great with 10 times the content. Maybe wait. Worst case scenario, you buy it day one. There are 3 Dark Zones. That does not change the experience of this Dark Zone. Like, me being in the Southern Dark Zone, there's one invaded Dark Zone that is different, but just the difference of being somewhere else on the map, I'm not going to use those because I need grenades. The difference of being somewhere else on the map does not vastly change my gameplay experience for the Dark Zone, unless it's one of those invaded Dark Zones. Let me know if you guys agree with me on that. Oh, God, potato. I think that's kind of analogous to saying, like, I don't like the shooting of Black Ops 4, but don't worry, there's going to be 10 more maps. You know. Whoa. I'm looking forward to new excursions. So I'll encounter players more in the other Dark Zones, is what you're saying, Adam? My understanding was there was a maximum instance size of 12, but maybe if that's dependent on different Dark Zones, then yeah, that's a factor that affects gameplay. Again, I still think it's safer to err on the side of caution. Any extractions happening? Not really. I think we'll go to this north one because we saw enemies at it earlier. People get really upset for everybody who's like anti-pre-order culture. People get really upset when I tell them not to pre-order games, or that maybe you should be cautious when pre-ordering games. Do you like it? Is it worth getting? Asked Cameron. I can speculate right now. I think if you were playing the Division 1 past 1.8 and you found that experience fulfilling, then yeah, probably the Division 2 is going to do it for you. I think if you're coming into Division 2 expecting a vastly different experience, I think it might be safe to wait for the full review, which should be rolling out on release day or shortly thereafter. Is there a story mode? Yeah, I guess. Like, the main mission is kind of the story mode. Side missions are all setting the world. So there is a campaign that takes you through the open world and it sprinkles in a narrative, whether or not it's... I don't think it's kind of analogous to, like, a narratively focused game in terms of quality there, but... Yo, I gotta go to bed for now. Thanks for the support. No worries, Funny Rage. Come back anytime, bro. If you play the Division 2 on PC, can you play it with controller? Yeah, I believe you can. I don't know if there's an aim assist thing happening. I imagine there would be. A lot of games are kind of... Isn't a beta typically a full test for what is playable? Asked Scruffy. There's a complicated answer there, and I think the answer is generally no. In 2019, I would say most betas are promotional tools instead of actually testing the full product. There are a couple exceptions, for sure, but I would say most betas, like, pre-order now, get in the beta. It's like, pre-order now, play a demo. Is essentially what it's saying. All right, at the extraction point, we got 10 minutes left. I really want to find other players. See if we can get a kill, see how long it takes to get a kill. I'm excited to, like, roam around the Dark Zone with friends. I think definitely the team play could be a fun aspect of this. That's a funny question that I can't say. I've never played the Division 1. So far, with your impressions compared to Anthem, which would you say I should try? Boy. Okay, so there's a really fun gameplay thing mechanically with Anthem in terms of flight, in terms of like, whoa, this is cool. But that, in my experience, fades kind of quickly, but I guess I'll wait until the full game to say that for sure. The Division 2, I think, initially is a slower burn. The shooting feels like kind of like not what you'd be used to with the high bars of shooting today, but I do think you get to a place where you're more interested in your character's progression. There are more interesting choices to make with loot. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little. So it depends what kind of player you are. Oh God, what? No, I didn't want to do that. Oh my God, I cannot believe I survived that mistake. If you're more of like a stat-driven Diablo 3-esque kind of player, I think the Division 2, if you're going to purchase one of them, is the one I would go for. If you're more of a I really want gameplay and I'm not going to play it all that much kind of guy, then I think Anthem might be for you, if that makes sense. And if you are still wondering about that when it's time to make a purchase and you haven't made a purchase yet, I'm doing both reviews, so check those out. If I had to like pick, if I was a mother bird and I had to pick one of my young to feed and the other one to let starve because we only had so much food, I'd pick the Division 2. if that makes sense. Anthem is cool, but man, I think it's a whole lot of things up front and not a lot to back it up. I think it's going to be one of those wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle kind of things. Could be wrong. That's just my initial impression. All right. All right, pick up Northern Extraction. Still nothing. Yeah, this is a great description. This comes from Nicholas. Venable, the Division is a shooter for RPG fans, not an RPG for shooter fans. That's phenomenal, dude. That is a wonderful description. I completely agree with that. Did they buff the shotgun? I think they buffed most guns with enemies that are not super spongy, but I do feel like the shotgun is pretty powerful. We'll have to see if that holds true towards the end. Again, just looking for extractions here. Not seeing any active ones. 8 minutes left. Trying to leave with a kill. We had one PvP encounter that I kind of fumbled my way into because I didn't know how flagging worked, but... How do you guys feel about PvP flagging? So for those who don't know, PvP flagging is I hold down this button, I hold down T, and then I mark myself as rogue, and people can see that I have the intention to try and kill them before I kind of make my move. I think it's a fairer space. I think it's a less griefy space, but I would also go as far to say that I feel like it's a less dynamic space. I feel like it's a space where players are more inclined to come in here and engage with PvE more than they are with PvP and walk out with rewards all the same. McLovin says, I agree. I was a little bit disappointed with the Anthem demo. I only pre-order expansions to games I already like, says Chaotic. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful rule. Scruffy says it's really dumb. Christian says it's okay. Smeagol says whack. I agree. I'm glad to see I'm not the only scumbag out there. I really like dynamic PvP games, man. I love Rust. I love PUBG. I liked DayZ, but I didn't like looting for 4 hours for bad gunplay. Looks like there's some fighting in here. Oh, there's a down player in here. All right, folks. Here we go. Going Rouge. Let's go Rouge. There's already a dead guy. That looks like a player over there. I'm going Rouge. You know, I really wish I had scan. Get our drone out. Where you at? Get him. Get him, Fido. Let me go shotty here. Oh, it's just a boss. Damn it, dude. Got all excited. That's lame. Can't pick the lockdown of a key, but I am rogue. Ooh, I got a covert SRS. Like, now I want to extract. So this is interesting. I have 30 seconds to remain rogue. So if players see that I'm rogue, they can engage me. That timer is going to increase. I always like that. But if I'm just kind of chill for 30 seconds, I can be accepted back into the commune. 15 seconds. We'll try and extract. We'll try and do a successful extraction here. How about that? Maybe somebody will go rogue on me. What does this do? Hack the terminal. Oh, well, whatever. I'm not rogue. Bounty received. Oh. SRS status restored. Okay. All right, let's do an extraction, shall we? Boring. Yeah, man. I wish that was a player. Extract and let players come to you? Yep, that is the plan. Good thought, Niku. Here we go. We'll see if this guy wants to go for it. Is that guy going up for an extraction? Looks like. Right? Am I wrong? This guy looks geared. Kill you! Should I engage the kill you guy? Should. I don't care about extracting loot. This isn't carrying over. Wonder if this guy knows I'm following him. We're going to wait, like the opportunist we are, until he's in a bad situation. Then I'm going to hold that T button. Oh, I think he's on to me. Now we just play it cool, right? Yeah, we're just running. We're just looking for PvE, dude. I'm a Care Bear. Don't mind me. The game is afoot. I think the problem is if I go rogue, he'll notice on his HUD. So I really have to just have him in my sights. We're doing it though. Before the stream is ending, one of us is dying. Probably going to be me. Let's do it.
Hey, no.
I'm doing good, man. I don't have push to talk on, but here we go. Why can't I go Rouge? Am I Rouge? Giving myself away. What is this cooldown? Oh, he wants to go rogue. I died in 2 shots. He didn't die in 2 shots. All right, clearly I have more to learn about the Dark Zone. Can I check out his stuff? I mean, he looks appropriately geared, similar to me. He's level 7. I don't know if that comes in as a factor, but anyway, that was a look at the Division 2's PvP. It appears as though I need to figure out what the heck I'm doing. I thought maybe just shooting somebody in the head would be enough, but GG. 2 minutes left. We're just going to respawn. Get inside his head. That's the real tactic. All right, let's go here. Maybe I can go rogue one more time. Sing the oof song, please. Let's just go rogue from the get-go, see if we can get in one last fight before we call this thing. There's no, like, hard out for me, too, but I do want to wrap appropriately at some point. Oh, God! Oh, I forgot about the turrets! Man, this reminds me of WoW. Who wants to see me play Apex? Let's go play a game that I understand. Alright, let's find one more player. A chance for redemption. You really got to front load a lot of damage. He just decided to go rogue and blew up the spot. Give this 5 minutes. If I don't find a player, we'll wrap it out. How would I pursue a career with IGN? The only way to get a job at IGN is to have previous experience, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it's really not. Like, you have YouTube, you have a blog, potentially. Right. Just do execute, even if you don't get views, have a product you can point us to say, this is the quality of my work, whether I'm a video editor, whether I'm a reviewer, editorial, whether I'm a features producer, whatever it is, right? So you have that, then you apply, and when we have job posting open, I'm not sure we have many right now, then, you know, you show your past work and you can get kind of an entry-level position. I won't lie, IGN is a place where you have to kind of work your way up the ladder, even if you are a shoe-in. But there's also a lot of opportunity, so. Is this guy talking about Tom Brady in chat? What's going on? All right. I think that looking for another player is folly in this dark zone, at least. Maybe there's other more populated dark zones, but clearly I need to do some research about what the heck I'm doing, which is a little bit of a letdown. I was kind of hoping it would be somewhat more intuitive, but I don't know. That opinion may change. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining me. I've been James Duggan. You can follow me at ThugginDuggan, THUGGN, on Twitter. If you enjoyed any of my commentary, if you have more questions you didn't get answered in chat, I'll be streaming from time to time. For all things in the Division, you're already in the right place here at IGN, and watch out for the review for this in both Anthem. They will be coming shortly, and I'll be putting a lot of hours in the coming months into both of those games. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Take care.